Hello, great people. The court has decided on the two cases of public interest, that of Yahaya Bello, the former governor of Kogi State, and Dele Farotimi, human rights lawyer. Both of them have been denied bail in their two separate cases. That of Yahaya Bello is for money laundering and stealing of Kogi State funds, while that of Dele Farotimi was for the alleged defamation of legal luminary Afe Babalola. In this video, we will be discussing the issues that led to the denial of the bail of Yahaya Bello and Dele Farotimi. Will be combining the two cases to do what I call a comparative analysis of the circumstance that led to their imprisonment, how the cases have been handled, and the reaction of both Dele Farotimi and Yahaya Bello. And what is about their bail application? What is the politics of bail application in the Nigerian court? I think it's safe to put it that way. The politics of bail application in Nigerian court, and we're doing a comparative analysis of both personalities. We'll be doing that and a whole lot more on this episode of Politing with Dr. Omoshola Deji, your favorite political scientist. If you are yet to subscribe, do want to subscribe to this channel. Now, the case of Yahaya Bello and that of Dele Farotimi, like I said earlier, there are two different cases. Now, why was Yahaya Bello denied bail? Yahaya Bello was denied bail because, shockingly, I'm sure it will be surprising to you as well, because before he went to EFCC custody, before Yahaya Bello was arraigned in court, they have already applied for his bail. You heard me right. You know that when they are charging you to court, it is when you get to the court that they read the charges against you and you plead guilty or not guilty. Whether you plead, if you plead not guilty, if the offense is a bailable offense, then your counsel, or if you like, your lawyer, will now apply for bail for you. Then the court will determine the merit of the bail and grant you bail or reject it based on the discretion of the court. But what surprised me most in that of Yahaya Bello is that before Yahaya Bello walked to EFCC office, before Yahaya Bello was arraigned in court in that particular picture that is circulating on the media space, whereby he's walking as if he's the first son of Jesus Christ, as if when Jesus Christ was ascending to heaven, he was the one he handed over the head to. So before then, bail has been applied for Yahaya Bello. You can imagine the reality of Nigeria. Before I go to the case of Dele Farotimi, let me say something about this Yahaya Bello. Before you appear in EFCC custody and court, they have already applied for bail for you because you can't afford to live the miserable life that your alleged corrupt practices have put Kogi people for your 8 years in office. The alleged corrupt practices, the corrupt practices of Yahaya Bello have made lives miserable for Kogi people. But Yahaya Bello do not want to spend one day or 1 week or any long time for his life to be miserable. And that is why I used to say, you are gullible. And that is it in the true sense of it. You are gullible if you support any politician blindly. If you are the type that you hate your neighbor, you don't like your brother, you don't like your old schoolmate because they share a different political affiliation with your own, you now hate them. You are the type that cause, that kill, that destroy because of politicians. You are gullible because they don't do this to themselves. Now, Yahaya Bello doesn't want to live a miserable life, but Kogi State people have been living a miserable life. The teacher in Kogi State that Yahaya Bello's alleged looting has affected their payment, that teacher have been living miserable all his life or all her life. The student that the money that Yahaya Bello allegedly stole could have been used to provide a good conducive learning environment for them, but that money was allegedly stolen, and those children are learning under unconducive conditions. Their life is miserable. Not only their life, their future, their destiny has already been shaped to miserability, if I can use that word, by the action or if you like, inaction of Yahaya Bello. And if you look at it, the student and the teachers, is it teacher that has not, that has not eaten? Teacher that is there to pay his house rent, that will teach students in such a way that they will be brilliant. The market women, that if Yahaya Bello have been paying salaries regularly, the market women that would have been able to make more sales and be able to use the money to sponsor our own family as well, their life has been miserable. The artisans, the plumbers, the electricians, that the money that is supposed to be circulating within the state to benefit the people have been converted to dollars to pay for the school fees of the children of one man for many years to come. Those artisans, they've been living miserably for many years. The transporter, that the money that Yahaya Bello allegedly stole could have been used to tar the roads, that when there is economic prosperity, the transporter will sell, because when people are happy, there will be economic movement. They want to go to the market, they want to go to the shopping mall, if there's any in Kogi State and all that. These people, their life has been miserable. But the person that is responsible for the miserability of their life can't wait 1 second. It does not want to experience any kind of discomfort for 1 second. So before he walked into EFCC office, he has already applied for bail. You can imagine. And lawyers are incurable optimists. You can imagine the kind of lawyer that advised him to do that. You can just imagine, Well, what are lawyers for other than to chop your money? Now, let us go to the one that is important to me, and I think important to you as well, which is that of Dele Farotimi. See, Dele Farotimi was denied bail because they said that there is an error in the application process. They said there is an error in the application process. Let me tell you something. And I will use the academic world as an example for you. You see, the powers that be would not let Dele Farotimi to gain freedom easily. Because the truth that he's saying, which everybody knows is the truth anyway, but the truth, those people that are being hurt by those truths, now that he's in confinement, they would want to elongate his tenure in that confinement. Maybe that will silence him the way they arraign those minors has been silencing people from protesting. See, let me use the academic word. You see, the judge already know whether you'll be granted bail or not before coming to the court. It is not mainly the argument of the lawyers. And I'll give you an example. In the academic world, we already know whether you pass or fail before Viva. What is Viva? Viva is Viva Voice. It's called oral defense. If you are doing masters by research or a PhD, you have to do what we call Viva Voice, which is the oral defense. That is what you have written there. Come and face the examiners. From the way you are answering questions, interacting with the examiner, they will know whether you are the one that truly, do that work that you claim to have done for years, that you want to bag a master's by research or PhD for. So, they already know from what you submitted whether they will pass you or not. Let me give you 2 examples that I've witnessed before I bag my PhD. I was standing with my supervisor. By that time, I was doing masters, and somebody just bagged his PhD, and my supervisor was one of the examiners. So the person saw my supervisor and he was thanking my supervisor that, "Oh, Prof, thanks for yesterday. I really gained from your knowledge." And my supervisor laughed. Fortunately, there were other professors standing, and he laughed and said, "No, don't worry. We already know you will pass even before you come for the Viva. We already know that you will pass it before you come for the Viva." The second experience, then I was already doing my PhD. And my supervisor, this time a female, was standing with another professor. And they were debating the destiny of one guy. His thesis was being examined. And they were debating whether and one professor was saying there's somewhere in that thesis that you have to do something. I think you should do it then. The other professor was saying, I think the thesis is okay. You should be able to sail through. What am I trying to say by all this analogy. What I'm trying to say is that before Dele Farotimi appeared in that court, some forces have already sat on that application. And because they don't want to grant him easy freedom, they will look for something. Like we used to say in the academic world, there's no perfect thesis. In other words, there's no perfect, in Nigeria, they used to call it project. There's no perfect project. You must find something. And that thing that you find, you can use it to fail that work. That was what I think happened to Dele Farotimi. Because regardless of the little error in his bail, if the judge want to use his discretion to grant him that bail, Dele Farotimi will be granted bail. That's the truth. But they've already know that they don't want to grant him the bail. So the forces that are working against Dele Farotimi's freedom are greater than the people, their power rather, is greater than that of the people that want him to be freed. You and I perhaps want him to be freed, but the forces behind him, which are the people that are in power, they don't want him to be free. So any little mistake or any little error, no matter how minor or irrelevant it is, they will capitalize on that to deny him that freedom. But you want to ask yourself, why? Why would they want to deny him freedom when the case is bailable? But at the end of the day, we still get the freedom. Let me tell you, the reason why they will want to delay him further is that they will have more time to further investigate Dele Farotimi and possibly charge him for other crimes. Now that he's yet to be released, there will be some people that will be investigating him. They will be investigating all his social media account, anything that pertains to him. They will be investigating him. If they are able to find something tangible that they can hold on to, they will just go and pick him from the prison in Ekiti and say they want to charge him for another crime. But once he has been granted the bail and he has been released, it is not easy to just pick him again and for another crime. And you know, it may not be easy for you to lay your hands on him like that. But now that he's still within the prison walls unjustly, it is easy for them. So there might be some investigation, some background investigation that they are doing about Dele Farotimi, just so that they can find more charges. They can find one or two other things that they can charge him for in order to kind of like make him regret his actions. So they want to keep him for more, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, you know, just so that they can dig deep. Maybe they will find something. But the God of Dele Farotimi, whatever God he serves, I pray will fight for him. But that of Yahaya Bello, I believe that if the Nigerian state, the Nigeria that we are in, if it's a country to be proud of, for Yahaya Bello to be stressing the EFCC, for Yahaya Bello to have behaved the way he behaved before being arraigned in court, and for him to have applied for bail before he was arraigned, that shows that he is desperate for freedom and he can jump bail. And I hope the court will do the necessary. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politing with Dr. Omoshola Deji. Dr. Deji is a political scientist with a PhD in political science, and this is where we relax to analyze politics and happenings in the polity. Do want to subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos, and of course, I have great, interesting videos coming your way. Till I see you again, of course, you already know that I love you all sincerely.